Put a little bit of crust on it. I'm sure that'll come off. Some mud still in the cracks. But these are all terminated faced crystals. Like at different angles you can see reflections on the sides. I have a loop, 15x loop on my phone here. I just wrapped the lanyard around my phone, stuck it up on the camera. It works pretty well. Been doing it like this for a while. For scale, a dime. So it's not big. The crystals aren't big, but the geode that it came out of is big. And there are big crystals nearby. There's an old pit about 20 feet away, and there's crystals bigger around than my thumb in the middle that the people couldn't get from the bottom of the pocket that they got. Who knows what was on the top of the pocket that they did extract. I know I can get the top of my pocket, but I want to get the whole thing out. So I know that it'll be more beautiful and more valuable as well. I have one more piece with me that I took from that pocket. Didn't clean up so great. I think this is the piece of float that I found. Yeah, it is. This is the float that I found that told me to dig. I found this. See, it's more oxidized. It's part of the pocket that broke, and it came up out of the pocket and made its way about 10 feet down the hill. And I started digging about 3 feet to the left of my pocket. I followed a agate seam until I found a hole, and I started digging around in that hole, scooping out dirt and water. And I looked around, and that's where this came from. I may be even lucky enough once I extract it to figure out where this broke off of, and maybe even reattach it to the original pocket. I see they do stuff like that on that Prospector show on the Weather Channel. I know that if I break it, there's a lot of small crystals here though, and I'll lose stuff. I'll lose material. Stuff will fall out of there if I break it. And then if you put the pieces back up, there's going to be holes where crystals used to be. See, that's kind of, unless you save every crystal and puzzle it all together. So if I have to break this, I'm going to do it in as few pieces as possible. Biggest pieces I can. So I can reassemble it with some windshield glue or rear view mirror adhesive or some kind of glass adhesive. But it is some pretty stuff. There's some of them are really hard to see with the camera. There's one in the center of the frame there. It's kind of larger than the rest. I'm getting it to shine. It's got the biggest faces down there in that spot, but it's a pretty good one. And it's fully, you can't see. You can see the bottom face in the reflection right now. I can see it. That's a cool crystal. It's tiny. It's a cool crystal. Beautiful. And so is this one right here. The tip of my thumbnail. Right there. That one is pretty cool. I like just its orientation. They're spraying out. Oops. Those crystals are like all spraying out right there. Those 4 or 5 of them. 6, 7, well, more than that. Look. There's a lot more. This is all from the same thing. So, this bubbliness, or like how the crystals are coming out like a ball, kinda. from the edge of the pocket, which I'm assuming is just the shape of the rocks it's forming around. But there's a lot of this kind of stuff inside that pocket. Some big shapes that I could see, and you could see in the other video. And I know the red can clean off of here. That's just from the clay dirt, just some rust stuck to it. And the same with this stuff here. I know there's acid stuff that cleans crystals. I mean, I can make this look, you know, I don't know what that crust is though. I know it's some kind of, you know, sometimes stuff's worth more with that on it because it's rarer. Depends on what it is, I guess. So I'm taking it into the shop here, about an hour to the rock shop. Crater Rock Museum here in Central Point, Oregon. This is where I have to go. And they could tell me a little more about it. I'm sure they're familiar with this kind of material. They probably even could tell me where I got it from. Even though I'm not trying to tell anybody, they probably have seen it before. So I know that there's old pits there. People have dug in there. But anyhow, off to the races.